Operation of a set. Now, let's start with union of a set. The union of two sets. So let's say A and B are sets. Okay? If A is a set and B is a set, the union of these two sets, A and B, is the set that consists of elements that are either in set A or in set B. Now, what do we mean by that? We will get into it. Symbolically, we use a symbol like parabola facing up, something like this, to represent union. So using this to show the relationship between A and B, so therefore we write A union B. So this is how it is being expressed. Now, what does this really mean? So with example, you should be able to know what it means. So let's say A is a set and it includes elements 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we said B, let's say B is also a set and it includes elements 2, 4, 6, 8. Now what will A union B, what will it be? Now the fact that we said A union B is a set that consists of both elements either in set A or in set B. So therefore, this will consist of elements in set A and set B. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. And that is the basic idea behind the union of the set and how to find the union of the set. Okay, just combine the two sets together and that will give you the union of the particular set. Okay, don't forget, you don't have to repeat the elements if they turns out to be common in both sets. You don't have to repeat it, you just need to write it once. Okay, now let's move to the second operation of a set, which is known as intersection of a set. So what is the intersection of a set? The intersection of two sets A and B, let's say we have set A and B, okay, is the set which consists of the common element between the set A and set B. And what do we mean by that? Okay, now what symbols do we use to denote the intersection of a set? This is just the opposite of the union. Okay, the parabola will be facing down for the intersection, while for the union the parabola will be facing up. So the intersection of a set is symbolically denoted as this. Okay, now we said if A, let's consider the same scenario. If A consists of elements 1, 2, 3, 4 and B consists of elements 2, 4, 6, 8, what will be the intersection? A intersection B, what will it be? Now in this case, we said it will be a set that consists of elements in both A and B, that is the common ones. Okay, the common ones in both A and B. Okay, the ones that repeat themselves in the first set and at the same time they repeat themselves in the second set. Now, can you figure out the elements or the elements or members that repeat themselves in set A and at the same time in set B? Now it turns out that element 2 turns out to occur because we have 2 here and we have 2 here. Okay, now is there any other element? Yes, element 4 turns out to be what? To be present in both set A and set B. So therefore we have 2, 4. Is there another element left that is common? There is no. So therefore our final answer for A intersection B is 2, 4. Hopefully you guys are following. Okay, now let's move to the next one, and this is known as what we call complement of a set. Some we said prime of a set, right? But they are still the same. Okay, now what exactly is complement of a set? The complement of a set, okay, is that if a particular set is a subset, let's say this A over here is a subset of a universal set. Hopefully you guys know what a universal set is. If you don't know what a universal set really means, then the video that just popped up is yours. Try to check the video out. Okay, now universal set is a set that consists of all the elements under discussion. Okay, now if A is a subset of a universal set, okay, Now, the set that include all the elements in the universal set that is not in set A is known as the complement of A. Let me come again. If A is a subset of universal set, okay, the element in the universal set which is not in set A, okay, I'm trying to put this in another way around, okay, the element in the universal set which is not in set A is called the complement of a set. So we denote this with a particular set raised to either C or something like this. Okay, they are still the same. You can use this, you can use any of them. You are still referring to complement. Okay, now how can we find the complement of a set? Let's try to work out an example. So let's say universal set U, okay, is a set and it consists of elements 1, 2, 3 all the way to 10. Okay, now we said A is a set. Let's consider the same example we just did earlier. It's a set that include 1, 2, 3, and 4. What will A complement be? What will it be equal to? A complement will be equals to the element in the universal set which is not in set A. So what are the elements in the universal set that are not in set A? Now it turns out that element 5 is not in set A, but it is in the universal set. Likewise, element 6 and element 7, also element 8, and at the same time element 9 and element 10. So all these elements turns out to be present in the universal set, but they are absent in the set A. So therefore, they are said to be the complement of set A. So hopefully you guys are now able to figure out what a union of a set, complement of a set, and intersection of a set. Now the last one is what we call cardinality of a set. Okay, now what exactly is the cardinality of a set? This is straightforward. Okay, it's just the number of elements in a particular set, and that's all. Okay, now what do we mean by that? So let's say A is a set and it includes elements 1, 2, 3, 4. So the cardinality of a set is denoted with something like this. Okay, so it will be equals to the number of elements in that particular set, which is set A. So it will be equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 elements in set A. So the cardinality will be what? It will be 4. Okay, so that's what a cardinality really means. So hopefully you guys are following. So now let's try to go over some examples on what we have taught earlier. So let's say U is a set and it is said to be a universal set and it consists of elements of English alphabet right from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. That's about H. Okay, now we have some subset. Okay, let's say B is also a subset of the universal set and it includes elements B, C, D, G. Okay, and also L is a subset of the universal set and it includes elements A, C, B, G, H. Okay, now feel free to pause the video and try to provide the solution to the questions I'm going to ask as follows. So what is going to be the value of A union B? Oh, sorry, that I use A and B as the set. So the value of B union L and the value of B intersection L, and at the same time B prime and L prime or L complement. Okay, now at the same time number of elements in B union L and number of elements in B intersect L. So please, you need to be very fast. What is your answer? So let's start to provide solution. Okay, now for B union L, what will be our result? Now it means B union L are what? Is a set that includes elements in either B or L. So therefore B union L will be equals to A, B, C, right, D, okay, we have G, then an H. So that should be the B in your L. Now, any other one, That's B intersect L. What will be the B intersect L? So B intersect L will be equals to, is there any common element between them? Yes, C turns out to be common. Okay, any other one? C is common. I think B turns out to be common as well. Okay, is there another one? G turns out to be common. Okay, so therefore we have C, B, and G as the common element between set B and L. Is there another one? That's all. Okay, so what will be the B prime? B prime will be equals to what? B prime will be equals to the set or the elements that are in universal set but not in set B. Now, what are these elements? A is in universal set but it's not in set B. Alright. Now, any other set element, E is in universal set but not in set B. Okay, I think F is not in set B but in universal set. H is not in set B and it is in the universal set. Okay, so let's try to work out some. That's L prime. What will be the value of L prime? Okay, L prime. So L prime will be equals to the elements that are not in L but in the universal set. So I guess B. Okay, any other one? No, B is in L, so B cannot be there. Okay, so D. Okay, E, F. Okay, then that should be all. D, E, F. Okay, now let's move on to the number of elements in B union L. There's no need of finding B union L anymore. What we need to just do is just count the elements in this point. Okay, now what are the elements we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So therefore, number of elements in B union L will be equals to 6, and number of elements in B intersect L will be equals to what? 1, 2, 3. So that's 3. So basically, that's how to deal with problems involving intersection of set, union of a set, complement of a set, and cardinality of a set. Hopefully you guys are following. Okay, now let's go over some difficult examples that you might come across in your exams. Okay, by the way, if you want to try this question out, feel free to pause the video and try to provide solution to the problem. Okay, if A equals a set whereby x, y is such that y squared is equal to 4 raised to the x. Okay, it is 4 raised to the x, not 4 raised to the 2. Okay, four raised to the x. Okay, and B equals x, y such that y raised to the x is equal to 16. Find A intersection B. Now let's try to provide the particular element. They said A is a set. Okay, and it includes elements whereby x, y is such that y squared is equal to 16. Let's try to make some arrangements with the equation given to us. They said y squared is equal to 4 raised to the x. Okay, now it turns out that y will be equals to the square root of 4x, because 4 raised to the x rather will be equals to 4 raised to the x. Why? Because when we multiply both sides to the power of half, then we are going to have this. Okay, so y squared multiplied by half is equals to 4 raised to the x multiplied by half. Okay, then we have this to cancel this, then we will have y to be equals to the square root of 4 raised to the x. Okay, and that should be the case. They said A consists of elements whereby x, y is equals to this. So therefore, if x is equals 1, if x is equal to 1, okay, what should be the value of y? So therefore, the value of y will be equals to the square root of 4 raised to the 1. And 4 raised to the 1 is 4. So y will be equals to the square root of 4, which is equal to 2. So y will be equals to, so we have 1, 2. Okay. Now, when x is equal to 2, what will be the value of y? When x is equal to 2, y will be equals to what? To the square root of 4 squared. Okay. And y will be equals to the square root of 16. And square root of 16 is equal to 4. So the value of y will be equals to 4. Okay. When the value of x is 3, what will be the value of y? So when the value of x is 3, the value of y will be equals to what? So y will be equals to the square root of 4 raised to the 3. Y will be equals to the square root of 64. So y will be equals to the square root of 64 is what? Let me use my calculator. So that's 8. Okay. So we have y to be equals to 8. So we have 3, 8. Okay. So when x is 4, what will be the value of y? So when x is 4, let me put comma. Okay. When x is 4, y will be what? So y will be equals to the square root of 4 raised to the 4. And 4 raised to the 4 is simply equals to what? So y will be equals to the square root of 4 raised to the 4. So that's 256. We have 256. And the square root of 256 is what? 16. So therefore y will be equals to 16. So we have 4, 16. So we will keep getting the value of x and y as we keep moving forward. So let's stop at this point. Okay, we have gotten 4 different subsets. Okay, now so let's stop. Now let's move forward to set B. What will be the value of set B? They said as y, we have y to the power of x equals 16. This means the value of y, okay, the value of y will be equals to x root 16. Okay, irrespective of what the value of x is, and that will tells the value of y. Okay, now how do I get x root 16? We said the y raised to the x is equal to 16. So let's multiply both sides to the power of half of x to the inverse of x. Okay, so we have y raised to the x and multiply by the inverse of x to the power of inverse of x. Okay, equals 16 raised to the inverse of x. Okay, so this x we cancel and we have y to be equals x root 16. Okay, so that's how I got y to be equals x root 16. Now let's start. I said just like this set A, it also include elements of x, y. Okay, so when x is 1, y will be what? So y will be equals to the square root of 16. Okay, so y will be equals to 1 root 16, and 1 root 16 is equal to 16. So we have 1, 16 as the first subset. Okay, now when x is 2, what will be the value of y? When x is 2, y will be equals to 2 root 16, and 2 root 16 is equal to 4. So we have 2, 4. Okay, what if when x is 3? When x is 3, y will be equals to what? So y will be equals to the cube root of 16. The fact that we can't find the cube root of 16, okay, so let's just stop at this point. So it means we are going to stop at this point. So we have this to be the subset in set B. Okay, we have this to be the element in set B. Now they said we should find A intersection B. A intersection B. Do we have any common element between A and B? Now it turns out that 2, 4 turns out to be present here, and at the same time it turns out to be present here. So therefore A intersect B will be equals to 2, 4. So basically, that's how to provide the solution to this particular problem. So here's another question. Given that the universal set U equals elements 1, 2, 3 all the way to 10, and P is a subset of the universal set, is include elements 1, 2, 4, 6, and Q is also a universal set, is also a subset of the universal set, and it includes elements 2, 3, 6, and 9. Show that P union Q prime is equal to P prime intersect Q prime. Okay, now the first thing I will recommend you guys doing whenever you have a problem like this is to focus on both sides one after the other. Okay, find the value of P in your Q prime and find the value of P intersect Q prime. As soon as they are the same, then therefore you are able to show what you are being asked to do. Okay, so that's what, let's try to work out what they ask us to do in order to check if at all they are equal or not. And they said P union Q prime. Let's start with that. P union Q prime. In order to get the value of P union Q prime, we need to find the value of P union Q first. What will be the value of P union Q? Okay, P union Q. P union Q is equal to what? What are the elements in P union Q? So we have 1, 2, okay, 3 is there, 3, 4, 6, and 9. Okay, so those are the elements in P union Q. Now, they said P union Q prime. What will now be the value of P union Q prime? And the value of P union Q prime will be the elements that are not here but are here. Okay, elements that are not in P union Q but are in the universal set. So what are these elements? So these elements will be 1 is here, 1 is also here, 2 is here, 2 is here, 3 is here, 3 is also in the universal set, 4 is here, 4 is also in the universal set, 6 is here, 6 is also in the universal set, but 5 is not here, while 5 is in the universal set. So we have first element to be 5. Okay, 7 is not here, 7 is here, we have 7. Okay, 8 is not here, 8 is here, we have 8. Okay, 9 is here, 9 is here. So 10 is not here, 10 is there, so we have 10. So these are the elements of P union Q prime. Now, what will be the value of P prime intersect Q prime? The first we need to do is to find P prime, find Q prime, then find their intercepts. Okay. Now, what will be the value of P prime? P prime will be the element. It will be a set that include elements that are not in P but are in the universal set. So, what are these elements that are not in set P but they are in the universal set? We have 1, 2, 4, 6 to be the element in set P. So, therefore, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10 will be the P prime. All these elements are not in the set P, but they are in the universal set. Now, what about Q prime? What will be the value of Q prime? Q prime will consist of elements that are not in set Q, but in set of the universal set. Now, what element do we have in Q? We have 2, 3, 6, 9 as the element in Q. Now, therefore, Q prime will consist of element 1, 4, 5, 7, okay, 8, and 10. So this should be the value of Q prime or Q complement. So numbers that are elements that are not in the set Q but in the universal set. So therefore, P prime intercept Q prime will be equals to what? So what are the common elements in the both of them? Okay, now it turns out that 5 turns out to be occur in both of them. Okay, so we have 5. Okay, now what do we have in common as well? 7 turns out to be common, so we have 7. Okay, now what else is common? We have 8 to be common as well. Okay, so we have 8. Now is there another thing? Is 10. 10 is also common, so therefore we have 10. Okay, now what do we observe? Is there another common value? There's no. So now what do we observe between this and this? Sorry, between this and this. It turns out that the element we have in P union Q prime is also equal to the element we have in P prime intercept Q prime. So therefore, P union Q prime is equal to P prime intercept Q prime. So that's how to show if either they are equal or not. So let's try to work out one more. Alright, I changed my mind, so I won't be solving this for you guys, so you guys should use it as an exercise. By the way, if you want me to review your answer, feel free to comment it in the comment section below. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please make sure you do that as early as possible. Okay, so I will even appreciate if you can do that now. Subscribe to my channel right away. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. So see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching my video, guys.